welcome to this edition of Irish Basketball Monthly. Here's what's coming up over the next hour. We get an insight into the world of SuperLeague coach Mark Ingle as his DCU Mercy side take on Team Montenotte Hotel Cork. We spend the day at the underage Irish International Training Camp to see what it takes to become a star of the future. St Vincents celebrate their 50th anniversary this year. We met with some of the people behind the success of one of Dublin's most historic clubs. UCD Marion faced off against UCC Demons in the Nivea for Men's Super League at the arena. Our cameras were there to take in the action. And later in the show, Basketball Ireland will be offering one lucky viewer an opportunity to spend €500 through the Basketball Ireland merchandise shop on Azuri Apparel. Founded in 1989 by Mark Ingle and his wife Annette, Mercy Basketball Club is now a top force in the Nivea Women's Super League. This month, Mark gave us behind-the-scenes access to his role as coach during a crucial game against Team Montenotte Hotel Cork. But first, we caught up with Ken Robinson to talk about DCU's important role in supporting Mercy's aspirations.
I suppose we looked at the basketball being a north side primary sport in Dublin, and the opportunity there to partner in with Mercy and with Saints made an awful lot of sense. Linking in with the community, we have the facilities, the coaching expertise is there, and I suppose the fact that there's an opportunity for players to get education while playing basketball at the top level is a good sort of synergy. We've had a lot of good players come through, and the nice mixture then of some international players come over, the local players, and I think success attracts better players, and there's no doubt that's coming through.
Before the game, we got Mark Ingle's thoughts on what it's like to coach a Super League team.
Hard work. It doesn't matter whether it's in the men's league or the women's league. Most teams now are training 3 times a week, and then they've got their own probably gym program, and then you've got a game every weekend, which is a national league, so you're traveling all around the country. And probably no coach, I would say, doing less than 20-25 hours, you know, coaching or thought process behind the preparation for training. So it's quite busy schedule.
It's a lot of commitment. So what do you find about it that's really rewarding?
Winning.
What kind of a relationship do you have with the referees in general?
Well, basically, you know, I think the referees are there to do a job, and if they do a good job, I'd be very complimentary. But if they're not doing their job, you know, I see it as my job as the coach to, you know, to address the situation, to address the way the game is called. And, you know, the referees probably themselves would admit that the inconsistency is probably the biggest problem in their game. So, you know, for me, it's as if it's, you know, being called, if the games are being called evenly and there's a consistency, you won't really get coaches arguing too much, you know.
Today's game sees Mark's DCU Mercy side face title rivals Team Montenotte Hotel Cork. It's a big game for the girls who are nearing the end of the season, and with vital league points at stake, there's plenty of nerves in the dressing room. With tip-off approaching, Mark gives his side their pre-game instructions.
Okay, just the 3 keys now before we finish, okay? Transition defense, everybody know what they're doing. Get back on D, stop the ball, release to the shooter, okay, stop the pass into the post, okay, then we're in our normal 1D, okay, our goal now this game, under 15 points a quarter. Let's really work hard now to make that a goal, especially second chances, no second chances, box out on every shot, and most of all with this team, contain their dribblers, all right, we do those 3 keys, okay, we'll see a W today for Mercy. Let's go, hands in. All right, captain, let's go.
All right, lads. Let's go. Do you want 3?
1, 2, 3, sing! All right, good job.
So with their final preparations out of the way, it's match time. We'll be keeping a close eye on Mark during play, but for now, let's join our commentator, Will Downing.
Third hosting, second in the Super League, DCU Mercy. Third place in the red against Glenmory, Team Montenotte Cork in the white and blue. Fresh from their recent cup final exploits. Worth pointing out that both won very healthily last week as well against Liffey Celtics very strongly, and that was a very good long 3-point shot by Marie Breen. Lindsay Peets bringing it through for DCU Mercy, the All-Ireland winning ladies footballer with Dublin. Short for Sarah Woods. Woods inside, chance for 2. No joy this time. Rebound claimed by the Croat, Tomica Bacic. All the way up. This is Marie Breen. Scoring opportunity remains alive for Glenmory. Niamh Dwyer currently the leading scorer in the Super League with 21 points per game, and has drawn the foul. Niamh Dwyer from the free throw line, successful with the first. Two out of two, strong lead, 8 points to 2, and a chance that it was about to get stronger. The Leesiders retain the ball. It's another chance of a three-point strike, and it's absolutely superb. And it has quietened the home side and management and support. Eilish McLaughlin, former Irish underage international. This is Megan Hoffman. She's come out of Colorado before her transatlantic trip here. Sarah Woods, and inside the paint, and the shot clock ran down. No joy for Eilish McLaughlin, but they regained it. Quick turnover. Lindsay Peat had the attempt and missed it. Marie Breen, long throw, but claimed by captain Suzanne Maguire. In she comes. It's another miss, and the rebound. Fouled by Eilish McLaughlin, and the rebound very easily claimed. Timeout, and there will be words, I think, here from Mark Ingle.
You have her, go make a move on her. Draw a foul off her, make a move, can't do it and pass the ball then. All right, you're on 2 fouls now. Okay? Now just take your time on your finishes, yeah? Take your time. Jump, stop, relax. Okay? Now watch. See the last time we set a great screen there, okay? She was wide up. Stop. Stop under the basket. She was wide open underneath the basket. I don't know why you didn't give it. Waiting for the offense. Look to see who's open. If someone's open, first option, second option. Keep running.
And the break is on firmly. Played across by Niamh Dwyer. Quick turnover. It's been a good pacey game, though. DCU Mercy have largely found themselves out of it. It's another miss. Amanda O'Regan, long for Niamh Dwyer. Lindsay Peat came in. And that's been given as an unsportsmanlike foul. And she's only allowed one more of those. Niamh Dwyer missed the first from the free throw line. Got the second. Becky Woods, take your time. Tessa Solon. Opportunity of a three-point shot there. Peat taking it up, and here comes the latest turnover. And Peat blocking the way. As Amanda O'Regan was on her way through, as Gráinne Dwyer was on her way through.
Referee, could I ask you why it's an unsportsmanlike?
She's the last person there.
What?
She's the last person there.
She's going for the ball.
I know, but it's still a foul. She's the last person.
Yeah, but it's not a fast break.
It's not that it's a foul like that.
No, it's the last person on the fast break.
Yeah, it's a fast break. She's going one-on-one.
Shut. Is that a fast break? How is that a fast break?
She was the last person back, and the foul was from the side. It's an automatic unsportsmanlike. It's been given. That's her second unsportsmanlike, and she's disqualified from the game.
That's a ridiculous call.
Don't compound it.
Don't compound it by what?
Getting a technical foul. So,
Trish, come on, let's go.
She's out for the rest of the game, right?
Yeah.
Game over. 2 unsportsmanlike fouls, a la the flagrant foul in the NBA. And she has been dismissed from the contest. Here's Niamh Dwyer. And it was a simple one in for Marie Breen, and is a 14-point lead now for Glenmory.
At half-time, Mark is very unhappy with some of the calls being made. He now has to play the second half without Lindsay Peat, one of his star players, and again approaches the referees for clarity.
came back in again.
The DCU Mercy team head for the dressing room, but with emotions running high, our cameras aren't allowed to see the half-time talk. So with the home side needing a big second-half performance, let's rejoin Will Downing in commentary.
Well, they've clipped it down to 11 points of DCU Mercy, but without one of their key players, it will be a mite more difficult against a Glenmory side on a really good roll right now. They hit the 100 points mark last week. It's a long effort coming from Suzanne Maguire. Very good setup. Becky Woods was paramount in that. Niamh Dwyer and the turnover claim. Real car crash of a collision. Suzanne Maguire ended up in the deck, but she's up now and she's coasting her way into the paint, and the setup good. Very strong assist for Megan Hoffman, and they've drawn the foul. Hoffman from the free throw line has added the point, and it's a 5-point game.
Doing the simple jobs like the box outs in the ring. Get into the game. You can affect the game now with 2 minutes to go. Be real aggressive. Get all over her and make her think like this. If she catches the ball, get all over her. Bring her into the traps. Okay? So we go trap. The ball's passed long. Trap. There's no point now pressing and standing here. Got to take away. Go in a man press, but 2-2-1. Pick up the nearest man.
Patricia O'Sullivan. Well, a couple of successful field goals in a row, and it's a totally different game. Glenmory have just kept their noses in front throughout. Only just the attempt missed by Megan Hoffman that time. Rebound from Anya McKenna. Under-20 cup winner previously. Tight times in the final quarter. Second attempt from the free throw line, also good. 2 out of 2 by Anya McKenna, by Becky Woods for Suzanne Maguire. A 10-point game, time running down. Maguire may have to go all the way here, couldn't go all the way. Important hand in, and the break being laid. Niamh Dwyer is where she always wants to be, and where our colleagues want her to be too. 12-point game. And it may just be victory in the battle of the coaches tonight for Andrea Congreves. Long attempt, no good that time. Becky Woods may have another stab. Suzanne Maguire, good three-pointer. They need more of that, but not enough time for it now, surely. Anya McKenna to restart play. And Montenotte, Glenmory will get the result. They'll get the victory by 61-52.
We can run around and do zigzags in the 1-3-1 and do a fantastic job in 2-2-1 and do a fantastic job in the 2-3 and do a fantastic job in the 1-3-1. You have to put the ball in the hoop. That's the bottom line. Look at your scores, look at your stats when Sarah gives them, and let's see what you can do to improve that by 10%. That's the gig now, all right? Effort was fantastic, okay? But we're not going to win it with just effort. Effort was fantastic. Brilliant job on the effort. Okay, Mercy. 1, 2, 3, Mercy.
Mark, what went wrong there for you today?
Well, I don't think that the referees helped the situation, you know, like the importance of that game. In any game that you watch, okay, and like I'm loath, I spoke about the referees before the game, if they're consistent. I mean, there was a double sportsman, like probably on one of the better players in the league. Now, no matter what league you're in, okay, you want to see the better players play. The crowd want to see them play. You know, the game was over as soon as that second unsportsmanlike was called, okay? Again, we're in a situation where we're in a big game, we're the home team, there's 11 fouls on us and 2 fouls on the away team. You know, I just don't know, there just doesn't seem to be that consistency that you would expect. We want to try and put on a show. Like, it's very hard to put a show when the best player in the league is standing up watching the game on a very harsh interpretation of a rule. I think there has to be a bit of a leniency. You know, it's not like, you know, she's the type of player who would do that intentionally. She's a tough player, but I tell you, she takes way more knocks than she gets, and she never gets the benefit of the doubt because she's a Gaelic player. She's a well-known name, Lindsay Peat. They know her from Gaelic, they know her from football, but they don't tend to give her the benefit of the doubt. If she was a small, skinny little one of like 5 stone, I don't think that call would have been called. You know, we feel very hard done by there, okay? I don't know if there's any censorship in our league like there is in the Premiership. I don't really care. They need to start doing a more professional job. You know, everything else is professional. Look at the facilities. You know, the TV, you know, the coaches are there They need to be more professional and need to be, you know, take responsibility.
So DCU Mercy are left disappointed today, but the race for the title is far from over. Coming up after the break, we visit the international training camp for the Ireland under 15 boys and girls to get an insight into what it takes to become a star of the future. And later in the show, Basketball Ireland will be offering one lucky viewer an opportunity to spend €500 through the Basketball Ireland merchandise shop on Azuri basketball apparel.
Want to join in the fun and play basketball? There are currently 1,700 schools with 26,000 students and 229 clubs with 15,000 players taking part. So make sure to find your local school or club on the Basketball Ireland Club Finder.
Basketball Ireland's international programme has been rejuvenated of late. We spend the day with the Ireland boys and girls under 15 teams and speak to the people charged with training our future basketball stars.
So Matt, how has the international scene developed over the last few years?
We're kind of back up and running. We had a few bad years a few years ago where we pulled all the international programs. So it's kind of been starting slowly. With the under 15 and the 16 teams coming back in last year. The medium-term goal is to get all teams back up and running, but it's more about making sure that it's not just 1 year they're back in for. When we bring all the international teams in with the seniors and everything, they're back in, and we can keep that going over the next few years.
How important is it to basketball in Ireland to have an international programme?
It's massively important now. It's the top of the sport, so it gives everybody from grassroots to the seniors something to aim for. A chance to put on a green jersey is great, whatever country you're coming from. And you know, the Irish really love to play for Ireland, as we see every time they play, and they put in the best they can in every opportunity.
We have the guys training behind you there, and the girls are outside getting ready. What goes into running these international programmes?
It's a huge amount. I mean, the International Affairs Committee put in a lot of work under the chairmanship of J. Town behind the scenes in getting the programmes up and running and making sure that we have the management teams in place and the coaching staff in place. And then obviously when it comes down to training, the coaches and the management, of which there's normally 4 or 5 on each team, you know, they put a lot of work and they're voluntary, you know, for the most part. So it's a huge amount of time put over a long period. So for example, this team training here, the under-15s, they're going to play in the European Championships of 2014. So it's really a 2-year programme with all the players and all the management staff putting in regular sessions non-stop in order to get them up to the standard.
Joey Boylan has been coaching underage Ireland teams for nearly 20 years, so he knows what it takes to make it at the top level.
So Joey, what advice do you have for these guys about making the step up from playing schools and club basketball to international?
I think the biggest difference is, number one, intensity. I think this guy playing intense all the time, and then I think as well, like, that they're actually playing with the best players, whereas normally, you know, there'll be some players who wouldn't be that good in the team, they can get away with things, whereas this situation, they're playing with the best players, so they've got to work harder all the time to actually be as good as they think they are, as they are in their own club setup. But I think it mainly comes down to just intensity and working hard all the time and looking to improve all the time.
I see the teams they have, like a strength and conditioning coach and get nutrition advice. How important are these things now if they want to compete against the best?
Yeah, they're very important. And the European Championships is like 10 games in 12 days, you know, you could be 9 games in 11 days. So it's very important that you got to keep producing your best, that you got to look after yourself, not just on the court but off the court as well. And so that's where the nutrition comes in, and then the fitness work comes in, so they're just getting stronger and getting better bodies, and get better able to last longer and be able to do what they can do well for longer periods.
This year's sports science has become a major factor in the training of our underage athletes. Sean Ingle is charged with overseeing the strength and conditioning process.
As a basketball player, okay, it's extremely important that you develop your core. Okay, what's your core? Your abs. All right. Now, your core is actually from your knee, okay, all the way up to about your armpits. So lunge out nice and wide, okay? Both hands on the ground here, okay? So feel it now on top of your hips, okay? So it's nice and long lunge, and we're gonna do 5 of these now, okay? You're gonna go 1, okay, 2. We're basically just at the start of our preparation. As you can see, we have a squad of 24 selected from interregionals and the 2 trials that we had in Galway and Dublin. So the squad's basically at the start of the preparation. In terms of strength and conditioning, we've only literally just put in the strength and conditioning program for the kids over the coming weeks. You're going to go into a triple trap position. So stand out here. Triple threat position, okay? So your athletic stance now when you're playing basketball. All right, nice and wide, it's a bit wider now. Okay, here. Okay, and what you're going to do as your partner, okay, is you're going to push, okay, on his knee. Now you're going to try and stay still like a statue. All right, so you're not, now not too much pressure. So I'm going to, here, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, same thing, tip. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Count it down yourselves now. Athletic stance, athletic stance. That's not athletic now. Come on, triple threat position, down low. This is the start of our core exercises. All right, and our stability. You've all seen press-ups with the basketball, have you? Okay, so everybody do a press-up here, yeah? Okay. This time, okay, it's more for stability and more core. All right? So when you do the press-ups, okay, instead of them being like this, okay, just uneven press-ups, you're going to put the ball out here. The more further you put the basketball out, the more core you're going to engage. Good job. If it's too hard, just bring the ball in a little bit, but you really want to challenge yourself. Machine over here.
Is it hard to get kids that are that age to understand the whole basic concepts of fitness and strength and conditioning?
They don't understand how important it is. Like, obviously they see the elite athletes on TV and they think they get there from
playing
all the time, but there's a lot of work that they put in on the off season. Those exercises, okay, are very, very key in strengthening your core, okay? Now, you're not going to just get better doing it here or at training every time you come to training, okay? You have to do it on your own at home or with a partner. So don't wait till you get injured to start working on the stuff. Do it now, okay, to stop you getting injured. All right? Great job. Hands in. On for Ireland. Ready? 1, 2, 3, Ireland!
The girls under 15s have seen some changes in structure as well. Newly appointed coach Eamon Downey believes these new techniques will bring future success.
We actually have a high performance coach. We measure international norms, how high the girls can jump, how fast they can go against our European counterparts. Pilates, the reason why we do it is for core. Core is really important. It's for balance and strength.
Pilates is a full head-to-toe workout, so it's great for when they're landing, when they're passing the ball, rotational exercise, preventing injuries, working on their flexibility, their core strength, legs, arms, everything. It's a full body workout. So we're going to start off. We're going to bring yourselves up to the edges of your mat. And we're going to rest your hands on the front of your shins. And we're going to really try and lengthen your spine as tall as you can. So I want you to really focus on your posture, your breathing, nice tight abdominals all the way through the class. Inhale through the nose, drawing the chin. Exhale, flex, lift, 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 lift. Deep breath in at the top. And exhale, coming down slowly. Well done, do you feel that? Anyone can do Pilates, any age, from toddlers to the older adults. But yeah, obviously they would have more specific exercises geared towards the basketball movements that they would do. So again, they'd have a lot of squatting, jumping, rotation, blocking. So it's really working on those muscle groups that will be affecting them while they're on the court. So this one, you want to make sure that your spine is down. There's no arch underneath your back. It's called an imprint. Take the legs up one at a time. Good. So holding that position there. So there's no arch underneath the back. Spine stays down. Good. Squeeze your thighs. Squeeze your ankles. Use your abdominals. Shaking already. Fingertips touching. Center of the head. Rest the head in the hands and flex forwards. Looking towards your knees. Breathe. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and out, 2, 3, 4. They're really taken to it well. You can see the difference from when I've seen them last to where they are now. So it's a good sign that they're working on it. And as I tell them, the more they work on it, the more it will benefit them as part of the basketball training. And being in such a high level competitive role where they're trying to earn their place on the team, it will definitely benefit them to practice, and you can see the difference in them already. 2, 3, 4, 5 and out, 2, 3, 4, 5 is 9, 2, 3, 4, 5 7, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, is 10. 100, down slowly. Feel that one? Yeah, okay.
Early on, I suppose I realised that not having the right nutrition base would lead to players not performing at optimal levels. For instance, if they're not hydrated enough, there's a ratio that works out that the performance drops 5–10%. And I wasn't willing to take that chance, so we dug into it, and we've had people involved with the squad that are very astute in nutrition, and we transferred that education to the players.
Nutrition is very important for these athletes. What we're doing is taking these athletes to the next level, hoping that they'll perform at the elite level. And basically, it's all about what food is in their bodies and how they'll be able to perform. So what we do is we've got a food pyramid, and they've basically extended the food pyramid to include sport. So basically, when athletes are competing in sports or actively taking part in sports, there's a couple of foods that they will require extra of.
So are you going back to basics and showing them where they need to start from?
You cannot drive a car without fuel. Your body will not be able to function at the best level if you're not eating right. We've broken it down to 3 tips, easy for them to follow. 1, never miss breakfast. We want to make sure they get the right meals inside them that will help them provide energy for the rest of the day. The second thing we've told them is to make sure they carry packed lunches with them throughout the day. Again, just carry a sandwich or something there so that whenever you feel hungry, you're not going to fall on crisps and chocolates. Finally, we want them to carry at least 2 or 3 fruits with them throughout the day, provide nutrients to their body. So they're responding well, and that's great to see from these athletes.
So we have a sample lunch here. So can you talk us through the components and the importance of getting all these into the athletes?
We have our brown bread here, full of fibre. It allows them to feel full without adding extra calories. We've got turkey here. Turkey is a great source of protein. It's got amino acids, basically that counter muscular fatigue. Then we've got our tomatoes and our salads, our lettuce, great source of nutrients and some vitamins as well. You put it all together, we've got a nice turkey sandwich that is light enough that the athletes can perform or take part in exercise straight after eating.
And so, Nabs, what about these? I'd have assumed that they're not great for athletes to eat.
Generally speaking, a lot of sugar, a lot of glucose is not good for the athletes, but in this exception, to help prevent mental fatigue, energy bars such as these and sports drinks does exactly what it says in allowing the athletes to focus and perform for longer in the last few minutes without being mentally unfocused.
What about water? How important is it?
I use the example of our muscles being similar to a twig, and basically if a twig is dry, you could snap it with 2 fingers. That's the same as our muscles. If we wet our muscles, if we hydrate and make sure that our muscles have a lot of water in them, we can twist, we can turn, we can stretch, we can dive for loose balls, and again, our muscles are protected.
What about junk food? If the kids break and they have a few bars of chocolate or a pizza?
If the athletes have junk food every now and again, it has to be the exception. Our athletes have to realise that this is a choice they've made to play for the elite level. They have to make sacrifices, and junk foods are the sacrifices. They have to make sure that they develop healthy lifestyle, healthy eating habits to be able to perform at optimal levels for longer, and our athletes have embraced that.
So having met with the coaching team, we caught up with some of the under-15 boys to see what it's like to be part of the Ireland setup. What's it like being here and being involved in the international setup?
It's good, gets you a lot of experience and stuff, and brings you on as a player,
What have you learned since you came up to play for Ireland?
Loads of things, just generally the experience of playing with Ireland. Joe's just a great coach. I learned loads. Yeah.
What kind of things does Joey teach you?
Just sort of the good basketball principles, just a good defence to work hard and stuff.
I saw you're getting some strength and conditioning training and tips. Is that something that you have done with your own club, or is it new to you?
No, it's seriously new to me. We never did any of that stuff. It was always fundamentals at our training. We never did any core. This is the first time I've ever done it, so it's tough, but I'm sure I'll get used to it.
Now we've met some of the players. Let's see how the boys got on with their half-court challenge.
David Kelly, Carroll, forward.
Sullivan, Neptune, point guard.
Owen Rockwell, Murray, centre.
Adam Heafy, Neptune, centre.
Conor McCann, Belfast Star, guard.
Conor Curran, Mike Cullen, forward.
John
forward.
Small forward. Josh Brash, Belfast Star, small forward.
Next on Irish Basketball Monthly, we meet some of the people behind the success of St. Vincent's as they celebrate their 50th anniversary. And later in the show, Basketball Ireland will be offering one lucky viewer an opportunity to spend €500 through the Basketball Ireland merchandise shop on Azuri basketball apparel. Welcome back. This season St. Vincent's celebrates its 50th anniversary, so we're here in Glasnevin to find out about the club's rich history and meet some of its members past and present. The Donnelly family have been a part of St. Vincent's since its inception in 1962. Shay Donnelly was one of the founding members and his 4 sons have all played SuperLeague basketball with the club. Dave Donnelly is the current coach, and when we met up with him and his brothers Carl, Emmett and James, it was clear that basketball definitely runs in the blood.
We played other sports, we played Gaelic, we played soccer, but basketball kind of caught a hold of our imagination, We went over to the States and saw, NBA players, but it started here in Vincent's with the Super League games. They were packed here, very exciting. And then when we joined the club, it was ran very well, because Joey was coaching. He was doing a great job with the underage at the time, and we were quite successful as well, so that helped.
Yeah, home life was definitely dominated by basketball. I remember when we were kids, one time the 3 of us, and James would have been a baby at the time, but we were all sick from school and we spent the day drawing out NBA or basketball uniforms, and that was just kind of life. You kind of dreamed of just being in a basketball world, and that was the way it was,
So you had no choice, James, then 3 other
That's
brothers
it,
all
yeah.
playing.
By the time I was like 4, I mean the 3 lads had already chosen to focus on basketball, so I didn't even play any other sport pretty much. I went straight into basketball, and it's all I wanted to do. I mean, it was used as a babysitting tool. Even I'd be over here when they'd be training for Super League. I'd be here, and my mum would go off and do some dancing or something, and it was brilliant. But I loved it because I'd just be watching them, and every time there'd be breaks, I'd get to shoot and. Yeah,
we used to have a full-size basket in the back garden for us, and then James had a baby basket. Decided just to practice his shooting when he was about 4 or 5.
The club has been a huge part of basketball history in Ireland. How do you think it shaped, I suppose, basketball in Dublin anyway?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the way in which kind of Vincent's started out, and I think that the ethos that I tried to encourage initially was really focused around the school and the kids from the school, but I think that's broadened in recent times. It's always been in one of the top kind of 4 to 5 teams in the Super League, and it's been really successful. It hasn't won probably as many trophies as some of the teams that in Cork did during the 80s, but every single year the Super League team, through thick and thin, through having finance, not having finance, the club has really put a good emphasis on coaching and developing players and developing talent. And you see now it's the only team in the league that doesn't have a professional player and still is able to compete. But it's because of that emphasis on the coaching and the talent, and it encourages the players to come through the system and to come through with a certain ethos and thinking behind the game. And I mean, I think Joey Boylan has been inspirational in that regard,
Joey and Pat Boylan are another set of brothers who have seen great days at St. Vincent's.
Vincent's holds a very special memory for me here. The gym was always packed, and I played at a very lucky time in the sense that there was big crowds came to the games. The American players had just arrived, and it was really enjoyable to play. There was crowds everywhere. They queued for hours to come into the gym here, and the gym only held about 800 or 900 people, but it was full every day, and the atmosphere was incredible.
I was playing SuperLeague, and then I was coaching the underage teams in the club, so the kids that I was actually coaching were coming to watch me playing here every Sunday, like, you know, so that kind of helped my coaching, because they would have seen that I was doing what I was telling them to do, like, you know. But then I think the other thing that happened was when we had that explosion in basketball, like that, people started coming, but better players and better athletes started playing the game in schools as well. So there was a big emphasis on the game in the schools, and so it became much bigger overall, like, you know. So we were getting better athletes out, so we could make better players, and I think that really helped a lot for Irish basketball in total, like, you know. And that stage then we had so many more teams because the interest was there with the young kids, like, you know, and that's really where it all starts.
As one of St Vincent's founding members, Shay Donnelly has played an important role down through the years. Today he still loves to support the club and its new generation of players.
I actually went to school in St Vincent's through the primary and the secondary ranks, and we've got a very strong school team going. So we competed then in school competitions both in Dublin and across Ireland, and quickly became very successful at it. We then began to play club basketball, which was the really early days then. Most of basketball at that stage was played in the army barracks, and they were the only people who had indoor facilities at the time. So we had the big trek from Glasnevin over to Calborough Barracks in Rathmines, where they had a very bumpy, boardy floor. They had to be careful where you hopped the ball. When I got a bit older then, and the end of my career, the Americans were kind of introduced, and that was again another step up for basketball in Ireland, and they were really phenomenal days of basketball.
Going on to play in the Super League, is that what, you know, kids here in Vincent's aspire to do?
It definitely is a goal for most of us. I mean, we, as a team, we always go to watch the Super League team play, and you know, it's such a great feeling to watch them play, and to want to be a part of that, to aspire to play at that level, is definitely something that everybody has on their mind. And if we're going to play Super League, Vincent's is the place to play it.
John Gilligan joined the club in 1989 as a player, having moved to Dublin from Cork. These days he holds the role of St Vincent's chairperson, but he hasn't forgotten some of those tough days on court.
And I knew Pat and Joy Boylan at the time, and as it was, Joy Boylan was the most difficult person to play against ever in basketball in my time, so I decided to join Vincent's because I didn't want to have to play against them in games, which was a really stupid move, because in fairness to Joy, I ended up playing against him 3 times a week for 2 hours a night, so it was a flawed concept. The club welcomed me from coming up from Cork, and you know, there was 3 or 4 core families involved in the club. And as is still the case, you know, it's a really family-oriented club, as you can see from being in the gym there. There's a lot of different people, and their kids are there, and some of even grandkids are still around, and the grandparents are at games, etc. We've a young pathway program for our little guys, DCU Saints. We saw them there today, from 6 years of age. Some of them even younger sometimes are playing in the club. So it's a matter of keeping it going, and it's a matter of people working hard all the time with the club.
After the break, we take in the action as UCD Marion faced off against UCC Demons at the arena. And Basketball Ireland will be offering one lucky viewer an opportunity to spend €500 through the Basketball Ireland merchandise shop on Azuri basketball apparel.
Want to join in the fun and play basketball? There are currently 1,700 schools with 26,000 students and 229 clubs with 15,000 players taking part. So make sure to find your local school or club on the Basketball Ireland Club Finder.
This month, our feature game from the Nivea for Men's Super League is the match-up of UCD Marion and UCC Demons. Marion came into the game off the back of a win against DCU Saints, whereas high-flying Demons were looking to bounce back from their defeat at the hands of UL. Will Downey watch this one?
Very, very tight contest so far. UCC Demons in the red, leading by 2 against UCD Marion in the blue, the home side, but it's been a tremendous contest so far. Through the hands of Villiano. Liam Conroy's had the shot for 3 and he scored it. And the man from Galway, top scorer with Murray Basketball Club, that won the under-20 back-to-back, 2010, 2011 in the Cup. Great strike that was by him. Kieran O'Sullivan's had a pop but missed. Rebounds come down towards Niall O'Reilly, through for Kieran O'Sullivan. Dan O'Sullivan involved too. Dan O'Sullivan back for Niall O'Reilly. O'Reilly in towards the paint. He's had the try, he's missed it. Rebound in though. Important scoring all the way. This is Kenton Walker. Walker's had the go but missed it, and the rebound claimed by Niall Meany. Brought away by Dan James, Connor's brother. Well, that would be something if it went in, and it has. Scored by Thomas Vilianco. Well, he's played previously in France, Italy and Iceland, and aren't we happy he's here now. Good combination play. Carlton Cuff with a great score, found by Kenton Walker with the assist. Brilliant three-point shot. Tit for tat at the moment. Great score followed by great score. And is there another on the way? Vilianco, he's had the go and missed it. He's played it all the way out. This is Dan James. Good intensive passage of play this is. James bringing it through. It's come out towards Niall Meany, and that's the lead for UCD Marion. It could not be much tighter early in this third quarter. And it's Niall O'Reilly for Kieran O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan with the relevant support, and it is floated in well for 2 by Carlton Cuff, and that's the lead for UCC Demons, 50-52. Viglianco, he's had a try for 3 and he's got it! UCD Marion in front now. Oh, this is fantastic. Hope it remains like this all game. Kieran O'Sullivan, support outside from Niall O'Reilly. Carlton Cuff for O'Reilly again. Cuff just standing inside. Might be tempted to sail inside the paint and have a go for 2, and he scored it. Here's Shane Colin, the UCC Demons captain and Ireland Super League Select captain as well. Colin all the way in, 56 all. Heady times, Irish basketball on the ascent again, and it's great to see. Who's going to reach the summit of this game? Hard work by Liam Conroy again as he watches Kevin Foley get the 2. And UCD Marion 58-57 in front. Deep in this third quarter, it's been a very good contest so far. And it's a good run by Cathal Finn. And this is speculative and in by Matt Kelly. 8-point lead for UCD Marion. Have they done enough to get the win, or is there a UCC Demons comeback on the way? Shane Duggan for Carlton Cuff. Back for O'Reilly. Shane Duggan again. O'Reilly to his left. It wouldn't find him. It's Shane Cullen instead. Out for Carlton Cuff, who has the try for 3, and he's got it. It's a 5-point game late on. They could still snatch it. Great score. Marvellous distribution of points throughout, both from Marion and Demons. But it's 2 further points to add to the tally of Dan James. 4-point game late on. Shane Colin takes up the story, has support all round. Niall O'Reilly thought about the shot for 3, instead went for the 2. It's switched out by Carlton Cuff. Chance for 3, just evaded away and wouldn't drop. Shane Colin again inside the paint, easy 2-point shot, and it's a 2-point game. It is now anybody's. Marion bringing it away through Dan James, the man who hit the winning shot in the under-20 national title game against Murray in 2009. Played against Liam Conroy and that, their teammates now. Kevin Foley. Down for Dan James, this is Liam Conroy. Conroy for James. James! That might have won it! Dan James with the 3. 5 points divide them. in the closing moments. Demons need to score. It was a worthy long try, but O'Sullivan couldn't put it away. 32 seconds remaining. It's a 5-point game. We're on fouls, team fouls now, and Kevin Foley got the first, gets the second for the nails in the coffin. 7-point game. Few threes needed for Demons here, and then some. Carlton Cuff have to try and provide one. They're running out of time rapidly. 20 seconds left in the game. Attempt from Shane Duggan. Needed to go for it. Too far, too long. Dan James bringing it away. Back to the free throw line. And this to wrap it up. Dan James gets the first. 18 points and now 19 for him. And the gap is 9 in the final half dozen seconds. And it was a vain attempt from Carlton Cuff, and that's it. UCD Marion have beaten UCC Demons at the National Stadium by 9, 84-75.
The first thing we got to do is get our heads right. And although we're not in the position in this league that we'd like to be, this team are playing with as much hunger because we're working on that side of it. They're playing as if their lives. They're playing for respect, and that's a huge thing to play for as well. So these guys are playing just as hard as any other team in the league now.
You know, we've been working hard in practice. We've really worked hard in the details and stuff that we're trying to get right. So it's hard, and it's something that we're just going to have to have more faith than anything else, and believe that it's going to turn the corner at some stage.
Niamh Dwyer, Glenmory Basketball Club, guard. Susan Moore for women's, and classic Michael Jordan for men's. Kobe's done more so far. Water, food and somebody, a companion. You're going to get me in trouble. It's a toss-up between a number of them. I'll say Gráinne, Tommy and Anya like to take pride in their appearance, we'll say it that way. Nobody. There's people that think they can dance, but no one. Can't remember. Is that bad? I'm insensitive. Big Bang Theory. Pizza. Too many to go on to. Like a very loud voice, and so like it penetrates a lot. So one time I was talking about somebody and they heard every word through the wall. Walked out scarlet. My father. When I was younger, I was playing other sports other than basketball. He used to come to support me for camogie, and then when I got into the basketball, he used to bring me training on Saturdays, even though he never played the sport. So I suppose he nourished it and encouraged it from an early age. Probably me.
This month's competition comes courtesy of Basketball Ireland Shop, where official Mountain basketballs, referee gear, score pads and other club essentials are available. We're offering one lucky viewer the chance to spend €500 through Basketball Ireland's merchandise shop on Azuri apparel. To be able to chance, all you have to do is like the Basketball Ireland merchandise shop Facebook page before March 27th.
To be in with the chance of winning this fantastic prize, all you need to do is like the Basketball Ireland merchandise shop on Facebook before March 27th. And congratulations to the winner of last month's competition, Jen Taff, who won a supply of basketballs for her club, courtesy of Moulton. For all the latest information from Super League to schools basketball and everything in between, make sure to bookmark Basketball Ireland's website, www.basketballireland.ie, your go-to guide for the season. For the chance to win exclusive prizes throughout the season while getting the latest news from basketball around the country, remember to follow the official Basketball Ireland Twitter account @bballirl and like the Facebook page www.facebook.com/BBIreland. Thanks for watching this edition of Irish Basketball Monthly. We'll be back next month with more news and views, but till then, it's goodbye.